Lil Cam. Oh my goodness, I hate this dude.
What's going on? We are live here.
What up,
TikTok
guys?
Up there, YouTube down here. So we are going live. We're going to be talking about the real estate market update. We're going to talk a little about some advice for new real estate investors, and then we're going to be answering questions. This is a live Q&A. My name is Sam. This is Lil Cam. So a couple of things about that. Lil Cam is kind of like Lil Kim. So that's kind of funny.
Hey, that's cool. That's cool.
You like Lil Kim, and you're little. So
I'm not little
compared to me. You are. All right. So anyway, so we're going to be chatting about the real estate investing. So take a deep breath. We just went TikTok live for a while. TikTok's still up there. So he's got us on here. So we are going to give everyone a second to log on. Howdy, gent. What's going on?
How do I share this link?
I don't know. What's going on? Awesome. So make sure you are answering your questions, banners. Lil Cam, I knew Lucas would like that. Let us know where you're from. Lil Cam, you like that, Luke? Where's the stash? Yates wants to know where's the stash at.
Hey, I shaved the stash off, but you better believe that it is coming back with a vengeance. It is going to be amazing.
What's going on, Warren? I remember Warren on there, Cole.
Oh, dude, good old Warren.
I moved to YouTube Live, or moved to YouTube Live. Awesome. So thank you for staying. Thank you for coming here and watching us. We are going to be talking real estate investing. We're going to give a market update. We're going to give our opinions on what's going on. Then we're going to talk a little bit about wholesaling and Cam's first year in rentals, but then we're going to answer as many questions as you can. So bring the questions coming high. Lots of questions. What's going on, World Traveler from Georgia? We'll throw them in the chat box. We got a couple from Georgia. We're going to answer them. Throw them in the chat box. We're going to talk. We're going to answer every single question that gets asked. So if we miss it, it's okay. We're going to get back to it, or we just haven't got to it yet. Hi from Montreal, Canada. We got people calling all. First question, great. We're going to get to that here soon. So keep the questions coming. Let us know where you're from. Let us know where you're from is what we want you to see. So make sure you put your questions in the chat box and let us know where you're from. So as you're doing that, make sure you're liking, sharing, and commenting this, whether you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook. Make sure to share this and give us a like. We'd really appreciate it. Cam, how's the market right now? Keep your questions coming. Put them in the chat
box. Guys,
Don't be so aggressive with your hands.
The market is hot right now. Who is Lil Cam? Wow. The market's hot right now. I think it's hot all over the United States. The two areas that I know specifically are in Denver and in St. Louis. But we've got multiple flips going on right now, and every single one when we list it, not every single one, but most of them are selling the first weekend on the market for over asking price. If you are in that first-time homebuyers range, the market is really, really hot. So you want to check it out. Cam, where's the mustache, man? I shaved it, but it's coming back, Tyler. Don't you worry. It is coming back.
So we are going to be answering all your questions. So don't worry. Ohio, St. Charles County. Where are you from? We're in St. Louis, Missouri. We got Milwaukee on here. Keep the questions coming. Greenville, South Carolina. We're going to get all the questions. I'm just giving the shout outs to people that are listening, saying hi. Oops, St. Charles County.
What's in the wine tumbler?
Tampa Bay. What's in the wine tumbler? That one. There's
just water,
orange juice. Same with mine. Nothing. Don't worry about it. So anyways, thank you for keep the questions coming. Thank you for commenting where you're from, and let us know where you're from and keep them coming. We're going to get to all of them. This is a live Q&A. We got
Southern
Miami,
Indiana. Man, there's some great investing in Southern Indiana.
Yes, it's pretty similar market to St. Louis.
I've got friends that are investing in Indianapolis and then up north in Crown Point. And Indiana's so hot right now.
It is. Yeah. All right. What is that? What you said that I think of like Hansel. He's so hot right now. It's from Zoolander. All right. So give us some likes on Facebook and then YouTube. Make sure to share this. So market update. So yes, as Cam said, the market's hot. I'm in a mastermind of people around the country, and I see them all the time. I talk to people, and the market is hot right now, all around the country. It's crazy. It may eventually cool down. Let's give our thoughts on what we think the market's going to do after the election. You think it's going to stay hot, or you think it's going to cool off?
I personally think that it's going to stay hot. And the reason for that is there's so many people buying houses right now. The inventory is so low that I think that it stays hot personally. We took a vote in the office the other day. I think there was probably 30 people sitting around. And most of the people in the room said that the market is either going to increase by 2 to 4% or 5% in the next 6 months. And I was one of the 5% guys, partly because I have a lot of money invested in that, and so I want that to happen, but also because I believe it will happen.
Yes, I think it could be. What's going on, BJ? What's going on? Zoolander reference, of course. Austin, Texas, market has been hot here, and that's why I'm not get it while I can. I understand that my brother lives in Austin, so there you go. So
Austin. I've got a lot of friends in Austin. Love Austin.
Cam has friends everywhere. So who is Lil Cam? So Lil Cam is sitting next to me. He's just a little guy.
That's not
he's
true.
been investing for Camron.
I would. It's true. Vote.
All right. So vote. Put in the chat box. Who do you think would win in a fight? Me or Cam? Lil Cam or Sam? But anyways, while people are voting on who would win in a fight, apparently that's where we're going tonight. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your story. So you've been on our YouTube channel. You've been on a couple of videos. You have went in the past 9 months from 0 rentals to how many?
We got 17 now. We're closing on our 18th, I think November 6th.
And how many wholesales?
Oh, 40, 50 plus.
So Cam's done probably close to 75 deals in his first less than a year because he got connected with the right people. He went to a meetup and kind of changed everything, didn't it?
Yeah,
a breakfast and a meetup.
A breakfast and a meetup. So here's the power of just getting out of your comfort zone. So I lived in Denver, Colorado, and my wife and I, we were moving back to St. Louis. I always wanted to.
In case you're wondering, Cam got 1 vote. Sam's got 2 votes. 2 to 1. You're getting
Come on, guys. Come on. I'm leaving. But we were moving back to St. Louis. I saw this jabroni. He was posting every once in a while. He'd post something about real estate on his Facebook page. Didn't know him. We went to high school together, but outside of that, we hadn't talked for 10 plus years.
I was kind of his idol for a few years.
That is so false. But we literally hadn't talked in 10 plus years. And so I sent him a message on Facebook. Again, super random because I hadn't talked to him in 10 years. Stepped out of my comfort zone. I was like, hey man, I want to get into real estate. Would you like to grab breakfast with me? And so we grabbed breakfast. I sat down with him and he was like, hey, I just started asking him questions. Like, yeah, I have 100 and something units. And then on top of that, I flip and wholesale another 200 a year. And I was like, oh my goodness, who am I sitting here with? So we got to talking. He invited me to a meetup. He invited me to a mastermind. I was all in at that point. So I got involved in that meetup. I got involved in that mastermind. And that was a year ago, last summer. And then I just kind of learned for about 4 months just from all of the people that I was meeting. And then at the start of January, I think it was December 28th, we closed on our first rental property. And then we got done with that first rental property and we were like, this is free money. And so then from there, we went from 0 to 17, almost closing on my 18th. Thank you so much for that, Janice. That means a ton.
We're 2 to 2. We got to get another vote. Who would win in a fisticuff? Apparently, is what we're doing tonight. What happens when you get Cam all the time?
But it has been life changing. We have went. We've added.
You don't need this isn't to brag. This is just to show you dollar numbers to what it is going. Just tell a little bit about
This feels weird because I don't want to brag.
You're not bragging.
But we've went. This is on Facebook and everything. So we went from.
We're gonna help. The more people that get inspired, the more people are gonna help.
We went from about $100,000 in net worth to we're right at 1.2. Our properties are cash flowing.
You just realized you're here.
Our properties are cash flowing, close to $6,000 a month right now. To like $5,400 a month. So I guess 50.
Not really that close to $6,000. But
so we're cash flowing $5,400 a month right now, and that's cash flow after vacancy, capex, maintenance, all that stuff. We're cash flowing $5,400 a month. And then the coolest part about all of this is that in 20 years, if we stopped right now, we would have over $5 million, $6 million in real estate paid off. And so, oh my goodness, Matthew, come on, Matthew. I'm afraid of anyone that wears it. Thank you. I killed the sheep. I shouldn't say that on here.
Let's get to some questions. Keep the questions.
Yeah, it's been great. It has been great. I will say that about Sam.
For 1 freaking second.
He's been awesome. So
all right. So we're gonna answer your questions. Keep them coming. And we're gonna start from the top. All right. Can you use the burst strategy if you have bad credit and short credit history? So yes and no. So you do not need good credit to invest in real estate. You can wholesale or you can fix and flip with other people's money, private money, hard money lending with zero credit. However, if you want to own long-term rentals, you do need to have a decent credit for the bank. So what I suggest doing is either wholesaling and fixing and flipping with other people's money while you and make sure to say the question so TikTok hears them. But while you are doing that, or partner with somebody who has good credit, and while the year or so while you're building your credit or your income, hopefully you'll buy a handful of properties and you have a partner. You can either separate at that point and own a couple together, do a buyout, or you can be partners together, but you can use someone else's credit to help be successful. Does that make sense?
Hey, real quick, for anybody that's on TikTok, the questions we're reading are from YouTube. So if you want to get on, have a question, get on our YouTube FasterFreedom page and write it on there.
All right, why don't you read and answer this one?
All right, next one.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, good.
All right, so how much income per month would I need to start with a single family home so hard money lenders banks would be willing to work with me? Why would they work with an inexperienced flipper anyways? So here's the deal on that one, is if you find a good enough deal, people are going to work with you, especially hard money lenders. And the reason for that is because they're going to send one of their people to go walk it. They're going to, it's actually kind of cool because
they base it on the deal.
Yeah, they actually are a second set of eyes for you on that property. They're not going to lend on the property if they think they're going to lose money on it. So, so go to them, have them walk through it. They're going to lend if they think they can make money on it. And then banks, that's a little bit tougher. For my wife and I, we met with multiple different banks, discussed our strategy. We found the right one. That did a lot of investing or worked with a lot of real estate investors. And so that's a little bit tougher, but if you can sit down with them, and my wife and I, we came up with like an 8-page packet that showed exactly what we wanted to do, the projected numbers, all of that good stuff. But we sat down with 8 different banks and we finally found an amazing one that has worked really, really well with us. But we were super inexperienced.
I would say everybody starts somewhere. So everybody is inexperienced at some point, and people that are successful get through that. So keep talking to more lenders, more banks. A lot of them, especially hard money lenders, will base if they're going to do it on how the strength of the deal. If you have a house under contract for $150,000 and needs $25,000 of work and it's worth $300,000, they're going to do the loan.
They're going to do it. So why would they not?
Yeah.
They have, they have
and
so much.
And if you guys want to see me punch Cam, I need 5 likes on YouTube and Facebook. So I need the likes go up and I will punch Cam. All right. Just to give him a little taste of what he's in for. How much should someone start having cash reserves to be prepared for vacancy or some other costs? I would say $5,000 maybe to get started to have cash reserves. Hopefully you won't have to tap into that, but you might obviously. But I'd say $5,000 is probably enough.
Greenville, South Carolina, man, great
from
spot.
Like a half an hour ago.
Oh,
all right,
still a great spot.
How do you make sure you don't miss on your first buy? Also, top emerging markets. So the country is moving to the Midwest and the Southeast. A lot of data supports that. So if you're on the coast, people obviously still like living out there, but people are moving a little bit inward for several reasons. So Midwest and Southeast is kind of the emerging markets, in my opinion. How do you make sure you don't miss on your first buy? Is if you got to evaluate and be ready to take action quickly.
Yeah. Real quick on that is emerging markets. I listened to a call the other day with with an economist, and he was talking about how so many workspaces are going virtual right now. So everybody in these really affluent, San Francisco, LA, New York City, where they're paying $3,000 a month for a studio apartment, they're able to work from anywhere now. And so why would they not move to St. Louis, where you can rent a 4-bedroom house for $1,500 a month? So you're seeing a lot of people move into the Midwest right now for that reason. And so it's super, super, super hot right now.
We need 2 more likes and I'll punch Cam. What do you recommend should you use for an FHA loan on a duplex or a fourplex? I don't know a ton about FHA loans. I do know obviously it's federally backed and subsidized, so there are more rules and regulations and inspections involved, and I'm pretty sure you can only use it one time. But if you're able to use it, I think there's like a 2 or 3K or something like that. You can use it for investment, so I think that's a great thing.
House hack that baby. If it's something that you want to live in one unit, rent out the other 3. FHA still covers that. House hack that. You can make a lot of money doing that, and then use your profits.
You use that for 1 to 4 units are considered residential.
Yeah. So house hack that.
How do I set up a promissory note? I'm sure there's this examples online. I'd probably get a lawyer involved. We set up a promissory note for our private lenders, but yeah, there's probably I'll get a lawyer involved for the one-time fee, and then you can be done. Any other like before I punch Cam? Give me a like on Facebook or YouTube. Read this one.
When starting out, do you get your refinance portfolio mortgage under an LLC or corporation versus under your personal name? My wife and I.
Good question.
That is a great question. My wife and I, we do it under an LLC just to protect ourselves. We have multiple LLCs, and an umbrella LLC for an umbrella policy. The only for us, and I know you guys just refinanced on the 30-year. For us, the only problem with that is we're on 20 or 25-year notes, and if it was in our personal name, we'd be on 30-year notes, so that would increase the cash flow a little bit. But I think at some point we'll be able to get to 30-year notes on all of those. But for right now, we're all on 20 and 25-year notes, and we're under LLCs. What about you?
I'm going to crush this answer so much better than you just gave. All right, so the benefits of
the benefits.
No, just in general, when starting out, so talk about, so if you refinance it under your personal name, you get a little better terms. It's residential terms, so you're going to get like, between 3 and 4% over 30 years fixed. So that's great. You can only do it 10 times, and you have to do it right off the bat. Luke's and I went to get residential, and they said, nope, they're going to look the fact that you have almost 100 loans in LLC, so they're not going to let you do them in your personal name. So yeah. So if you're going to do it when you get started off.
I think you get up to 10.
You do, but you have to do it at the beginning. So you get up to 10 in your personal name at that lower interest rate. But after that, you have to do them in an LLC. I always suggest owning them in an LLC just because you have the legal protection between your personal assets and your business assets. That LLC is the layer in between. So what you do is you buy them in your personal name and refinance them. Then as soon as you do that, you quit claim them over to an LLC. So the LLC ends up owning it, but you refinance it in your personal name. You can only do that 10 times. I feel like
why haven't you told me that before? Now I've missed out on so much cash flow because I bought everything in an LLC. That was not me. I bought everything in LLC. Well,
that's what Luke and I did. We did zero.
So you quit claimed everything?
No, we bought everything in our LLC. We never bought anything in our personal name.
I've never bought anything in a personal name.
Yeah, neither have we, and you probably can't anymore to this point. But the reason it's okay, I think, is because it developed relationships with the banks on the commercial lending side. You saw what we did in our portfolio. We pulled out $880,000 earlier this year because we had such a good relationship with a bank, and I honestly believe that's because we did everything with an LLC.
Yeah, I think we've already pulled out close to $75,000.
So. You're crazy. That is awesome. All right. So please answer. See, we're probably, let's look. We're about 15 minutes behind on questions. So if you ask them, we will get to them. I promise. One more like or heart, and I will punch Cam. Let's go. All right. Okay. So please answer. I bought my first rental with a renter in it. It was $64K, rents for $675. So you're hitting that 1% rule. Had to put 10% down to get a rental. How do I regain that money up front? So you got to regain that money a lot by purchasing it right on the front end. You may not be able to at this point. You might be able to. It depends on, you bought it for 64. If it's worth $100,000 and then you refinance it now, you should be able to pull out some money. But it might not cash flow as well. So kind of be careful there. And I don't really know your market, but you get it appraised and get it refinanced is where you'll be able to pull out a little bit more.
Yeah. So if the house was worth $64,000, which I'm pumped that you're just taking action and doing it. But if the house is worth 64 as it's, I freaking hate you so much. I'm gonna kill you. Not on this though. Afterwards. But if the house was worth 64, you would have want to bought that to be able to recoup your down payment for $51,000. Because that's what the bank will give you a refinance loan on. So that's what we do is we are always pay 80 or 75% of the ARV minus repairs. That way we can recoup all of our costs. Oh, please. Millennial. Oh, there we go. This was 30 minutes ago, but millennial meditate. Can't hit the table.
You are just.
I'm too violent.
Just going to cool it. Answer this one. I'm going to talk to Tips.
What's the deal with a hard lender? Oh, you just put that up. What's the deal with a hard lender? Do you have X amount of time to pay it off, or is it just high interest, or what? So with my hard money lender, I've got multiple, but I'm usually at about 10% interest annualized. So for instance, we just did a property. It took us 4 months, which was a lot longer than we had planned on. We borrowed $100,000 on that. And so I'm paying him $1,000 a month, no matter what. So if I keep it for 2 months, if I keep it for 4 months, if I keep it for 6 months, I'm paying him $1,000 a month on that. Sorry, it's 12% annualized. So it's completely up to whatever terms you have. But, I've got another hard money loan out where we set up terms. If I pay back anytime, it was for $120,000. But if I pay back anytime within the first 4 months, I pay them back $124,000. If it's between 4 and 6 months, I pay them back $127,000. If it's between 6 and 12 months, I pay them back $130,000. So it's completely predicated upon how you set that up with your hard money lender. But no matter what, I just work that cost into my rehab cost. So I know that I'm going to be able to pay them when I refinance out of it.
Awesome. All right. All these votes for Sam. Sorry, I'm missing it. Oh crap. Just one. Oh my goodness.
All the way to the bottom. Wow. There's a lot of questions in there.
Shazah, what's going on?
Let me go. No, I did not. World Traveler. Did not.
All right. I think we're actually not too far behind.
Yeah.
Keep the questions coming. We don't want to.
What is wholesale?
Where's that one?
It's right here, John Beasley. So wholesaling, that's what I do full time, is I wholesale properties. It is the key to real estate investing. Essentially what that is that's finding properties off market at a discount, buying them, and then either keeping them for yourself for your rental portfolio, flipping them, or selling them to another real estate investor. So for instance, at the beginning of this conversation, so they're still going to be all in at $120,000. They're going to make quite a bit of money on the back end. I made a quick 20 grand. And so that's the benefit of wholesaling, is it makes you quick cash.
Let's read that one.
Forget that.
Read it.
You're the best mentor in the game. Congratulations on your
success. So let's talk a little bit about that. So I don't like
mentors are important.
Well, we don't like to bring that up too much. This is just to provide knowledge. This isn't to sell anything. But quickly, Cam. So we did help you. You've been taking incredible action, but you took our course and it really, really helped push you forward. Our course is a 10-week course. We teach everything we know about growing rental portfolio. I mean, how much wealth have you gained in the last 6 months because of the course you took with us?
Oh,
and you have a job now, but besides that,
close to $1 million. So
6 months.
The investment on
the scrolling at the bottom, the banner at the bottom, that's how you get information on our course.
The investment on masterminds, the investment on any sort of education. I truly do believe if you take the info that you learn from that and take action on that, you bet on yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to go all in on this. It's going to pay back 10-fold, 50-fold, 100-fold. It has for me. I think it will anybody if they take action. And so I would highly suggest it. Get involved in a local mastermind, get involved in some boot camps or the Live Rental Academy.
Our
Live Rental Academy that we both
best in the business, not even close. All right. Bought a single family house on a land contract, rehabbing and renting it out. What should my next steps be after renting out?
Refi that.
Take it to a local bank, like not your Bank of America, your commerce banks. I say, like the banks that we use are like First State Bank of St. Charles. Now these banks only lend locally. I'm just telling you that so you know the types of banks to look for. Not the best. It makes me look. The type of banks we use are First State Bank of St. Charles, American Bank of Missouri, or some type of credit unions. So get to know those people and go to those places to refinance, and they should write you a check for around 80% of the appraised value. What's the most effective way to find deals? So we buy about 200 houses a year. Our most effective source, 100 house buys a year for us, come from connectors, real estate agents, other wholesalers. So just get involved in your local community, get to know your local real estate investors, your local real estate agents, and you will find deals, I promise. If we get a proof of funds letter from a rehab private lender, does it say that is a cash offer? No, it doesn't have to.
Why do I keep doing that?
Because you're just
so freaking annoyed with my.
You're just like a Neanderthal.
You're worth $10 million and you can't get a nice light up camera.
Not worth that much, but anyways, if we get proof of funds letter, so you don't need it won't say cash offer, but it will just say you have proof of funds in your account or somebody else's account. Are you guys holding more than flipping in this market? So our exit strategies go as follows. We buy 200 houses a year. Number one, somebody on the team keeps it as a rental. Number two, we rehab it. Number three, we wholesale it. Number four, we clean and list. So if it meets number one, did you not make one? What? Or did you just put vodka in it?
It's water.
Did you not? Okay.
It is
all right.
Water.
You go now, Mr. Water.
Let's finish that question. So keep going. We do whatever is best for the market. So if it works for a rental, somebody on the team is going to keep it as a rental. If it works best as a flip, we're going to flip it. If it works best, and when I say works best, honestly, if it makes the most money, we're going to wholesale it. And then the last is we're going to clean and list it. So those are our exit strategies. And so we just based it upon the house. What would you recommend
Sorry,
to buy between
$50,000
and $100,000 as an investment property? What city and state if I'm based in New York? I would look at Midwest cities, but there's so many great opportunities between that $50,000 and $100,000 mark. Most of my properties are a little bit over the $100,000 mark, but we just bought one for $50,000. It needs 15 grand in rehab. So we're going to be all in at 65. It's going to appraise out at 110, and it's going to rent for 1,200. So we're going to be all in on that property at $65,000, and we're going to have a renter in there for 1,200. That might be a little optimistic. It's probably going to rent for 1,100, but still, we're going to rent that for 1,100, and we're going to cash flow like a beast on that property. And so, if you're between $50,000 and $100,000 in the Midwest markets, you can find a great deal. You really can.
Look at Joel. Look at Joel.
Joel, hello from Orlando, Florida. I have 12 rental properties. You're crushing it. That are paid off. That is amazing. What's the best loan for me to take so I can cash out and grow my business? Refi the entire portfolio. This guy just did it on his 100+ units, and he pulled out $880,000.
But I didn't have them paid off, so you can maybe crush that if they're paid off.
12 units. I don't know what they're worth in Orlando, Florida, but you're going to be able to take out 75 to 80% of the appraised value. Let's pretend they're all $200,000 a piece. So you're going to be able to pull out $1.6 million and then reinvest that. That is absolutely amazing. You could do so much with that. So so refi that and start investing, man.
So my suggestion would be to refinance a couple of them and pull out home equity lines of credit on the other, so you're not completely taking your equity out. Mm-hmm. Maybe do a 50% cash out refi, not 80%, just so you leave yourself a little bit more.
But think about what he could do with $1.6 million.
Well, you can do a lot with $1 million too and have more equity.
Yeah, I like to gamble.
You're a gambler. I'm 20, but want the wholesale really bad, but I don't know anyone that does wholesaling personally. How do I build a contract, and how do you handle taxes? So if you don't know anybody personally, get to know people. Join your local real estate investing meetups and your local real estate investing Facebook groups for sure. Yeah. And you just handle taxes. You just got to keep track of everything and give it to your tax guy for sure.
And we're about to start a wholesaling academy that
this guy might be on.
That would be great for that, where we talk about contracts, we talk about rehab analysis, we talk about comps. We'll teach you everything to get into wholesaling, because I think that's the quickest way. It might not be the best way, but I think it's the quickest way to make money in real estate.
You know this one.
What is the best way to make sure your ARV will allow you to refinance and get as close to 100% of your initial cost back in your pocket? Great question.
Because you crushed this, so this is the perfect one for you.
Yeah, so we use a conservative ARV. I'm always optimistic, but when it comes to the ARV, I'm conservative because I want to make sure that I can get everything back. And so if you pull comps on a house and there's a comp at 175 and 200, use the 175 comp. Even though your mind is telling you to use the 200 comp, you want to use the 200 comp to make the deal work. Use the 175 comp because the reality of it is you probably will get an appraisal at the 200 comp, and you'll be able to pull out quite a bit of money on that. But if you're not conservative, we did just have a house that we still ended up being able to be fine on, but we thought that it was going to appraise at 200 and it appraised at 175. And so we weren't able to pull out any money on that. We just were able to own the house for free.
4 years.
Yeah. So we weren't able to pull out any money.
You were able to own a house for free that's going to be worth $300,000 in 10 years, and you're going to owe 100.
But use a conservative comp on that guy. And if you make enough offers on that conservative comp, you're going to get a deal made. So just make sure you use a conservative comp.
Is there a plan to follow for the first 2 years of investing? What mix of burn, fix, and flip? How to scale up from doing all the work myself to turn in more deals? Is there a class, seminar, guru you would suggest? Jeremy's my man. I had coffee with Jeremy last week at the Bridge.
Oh, the Bridge, right there in Newtown.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a cool dude. So your kind of plan is however you want to set it up yourself, what your long-term goals are. I feel like this hides our beautiful faces if they're good. Get up a little bit. So if you want to do more deals, you got to get to know people in your market. You got to know people that are willing to help you.
Where's Jeremy live at?
Jeremy lives here in St. Charles.
Oh, Jeremy, dude.
He's been at Buyers Club.
Oh, there's a Buyers Club. There's the FasterFreedom Mastermind. There's a Live Rental Academy. there's so many, like within that mastermind, there's probably what, how much do you think in real estate? 100 million?
Yeah, there's several hundred doors. Yes.
Yeah. There's probably over 1,000.
Probably close to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and then the Live Rental Academy for you, Jeremy, which we talked a little bit, but we talked about other things on there. You'll be able to figure this out with your network you have and joining local meetups. But if you wanted to ramp that up, then definitely, definitely start that Live Rental Academy into that mastermind. Tyler says, can you still get tax benefits of rentals on your personal name? Yes, you can, because your corporate or LLC taxes just all roll down to your personal, so it just would start there. I just gave the final like. Jeffrey did. Awesome. Jeffrey.
Oh, Jeffrey, forget you, man.
Jeffrey, why don't you?
Jeffrey.
I gave you Cam's number on Instagram. He needs to do. He's got
bro.
Everything needed to do the Live Rental Academy. So he needs
to
call you tomorrow.
I want you to call me tomorrow, and I want you to sign up tomorrow because it will change your life 100%. No doubt about it.
All right. Hey, what's going on, CMB? We're trying to get back up to. So if we're a little bit behind on questions, about 10 minutes. So if you ask your questions, just stay tuned.
What up, Elvira? One of my favorite people. She crushes it in the St. Louis, like South City market. She's absolutely amazing.
In a good way. What are your thoughts on South Florida market? I think like Miami and down there is a little bit competitive, but every market, LA, Miami, New York, Chicago, downtown, every single market, half the people are renting. So they're successful real estate investors there. You just got to get to know people and be willing to work hard. I have a lead. Why don't you? You're the King Kong buyer. Why don't you answer this question?
I have a lead that I have trouble calculating the ARV. It's 1,300 square feet on a quarter-acre lot, basically a double lot, zoned for single family. No comparables close by. What method should I use for valuation? Great question, because I run into this all of the time. Again, I would use a conservative ARV on that. If it's a 1,300 square foot house and there's a 900
you
square
saying
foot
the word
house,
conservative makes me laugh.
Okay, yeah, I don't use a conservative ARV. I try and buy everything, but I would take the 900 square foot comp and use that in place of something that's a 1,300 square foot. If you feel like I offer a lot on feel. So if you feel like, you know what, this is
you feel like I want to buy a house today, he just buys a house.
Hey, you know what? I've made you hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that. So I made you $20,000 yesterday doing that. So so you can also price that on price per square foot. So you can look at the 900 square foot house, see what the price per square foot on that is, times it by 1,300. Usually that might be over the ARV if you do it that way, but it can give you a ballpark estimate. I would still be very conservative on it though.
For sure. Great answer. All right. I'd like to work with you. You can do it. Go to our FasterFreedom.com /LRA down there and learn about how you can work with you. We help people every single day become wealthy through real estate. Is that Ryan Winkleman? Just texted you?
No. That's Ryan Weckerman. He's in Austin. He's a dope dude.
Should I attempt?
He actually is one of the people that encouraged me to get into real estate.
Good. He's a smart man. Should I attempt wholesaling right when I turn 18? Yeah, I think you should for sure. Don't you think? No time like the present. You think upstate New York is a good market? You can find out by joining your local meetup, your local real estate investing Facebook groups, and find out from there. John Beasley, I assume you wholesale under LLC. We do for sure. Keep the questions coming. We're trying to get caught up. We're 10 minutes behind.
I'm 19.
If we haven't answered your question, we will.
I'm 19. I work at a minimum in Washington. My area rent is high. Here I wanted to buy a house as my first time buyer and have roommates move in, help me pay the bills faster. What you guys think? Hey, I think that's a great idea. I have a ton of friends in markets where the prices are a little bit higher and they rent per room. So they'll buy a 5-bedroom house and they'll rent each room out for $600 a month. So that's going to increase your rent so much more than if you're just renting to a family. So, rents would go for $1,800 if you're renting to a family. But if you have a 5-bedroom house and you're renting out for $600 a room, all of a sudden that's $3,000. So I would say if you're in Washington, the price is pretty high. Buy a house, live in one of the rooms, rent the other rooms out to roommates for $500, $600, $700 a room, and you're going to crush it.
Awesome. use other drivers and searching drive dollars. So we are actually coming with a program. We are hiring other drivers here eventually. So we do it ourselves, but we use other drivers. And when we drive for dollars, make sure you're using the Deal Machine app. You can get, we know the owner, he's in a mastermind with me. So you can get 2 weeks free and free deal credits by doing that. So use our code FasterFreedom.
Yeah.
You might as well try it. It's free.
And to speak to that, every time I go on an appointment, which is usually once or twice a day that I'm going on an appointment meeting with a seller, I always leave about 15 minutes early, and I go and I just drive the neighborhood. I look for houses that are run down, that look vacant, that have high grass, that have messed up blinds. So I'm always driving for dollars, even when I'm going somewhere, when I'm going to work. My wife hates me because when we're going to a restaurant or something, I'm pulling off into neighborhoods and just driving around looking for houses. So honestly, I love it. It's a really easy way to drive for dollars, but that's one way that I do is I always just leave 15 minutes early and drive a neighborhood.
I like it. And after I pay off, so this must be a follow-up question.
Yeah.
After I pay off the house and buy another house and flip it, and flip and rent, what do you guys think? Yeah, I think just keep doing deals, however that looks for you.
This is the guy that's killing in Orlando.
Oh, nice.
Totally. Yeah. So, yeah, just whenever you refinance, you buy a new house, just make sure the numbers work, make sure it's cash flowing. If you sign up for like the Live Rental Academy or anything, you have all types of spreadsheets that we give you that are calculators that will calculate how much you're cash flowing. There's other cash flow calculators out there. Just make sure the numbers work and you're going to be good to go.
CMB, shopping around for hard money lenders in LA, most offer 70% loan on sales price. With that said, the 30% missing comes from me. I'm looking for 100% financing. So keep asking around. I know the LA market is probably quite a bit different than I know most markets, but the LA one's a little bit trickier.
It is.
So you can use private lenders to come over that last 30% or like a line of credit. So that's what I would do. That's a tricky one though. I do understand that. I would, Cameron, you're so loud. That's what I would do. I would use a private lender or a home equity line of credit for the difference, or just keep shopping around. I have a great credit and plenty of cash for down payment and remodel. I feel ready to get started. Look at Hannah. She's ready to get started.
Hannah, you're amazing. I have a credit and plenty of cash for down payment and remodel. Feeling so ready to get started.
Watch our YouTube and go to the link at the bottom of the screen.
Hannah, the advice I have for you is don't wait. Get started. It will change your life. I promise you that. It changed my life. It changed his life. He started 5 years ago. I started a year ago. We're both, I feel like a douchebag saying this, but we're both millionaires.
You're a douchebag, but yes, we are.
So get started, Hannah. That's
because
the
of real estate. 90% of people become millionaires through real estate.
I hate the fact that I just said that. I feel so weird.
I can tell you feel weird. All right, it's okay, but it's true. 90% of millionaires become millionaires through real estate. I never see you embarrassed, but you're embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed about that. But here's the thing: when you have money, you can use that money to help people. Like my wife and I, we support so many different causes. We're giving money away to friends that are in need. Like, so that's why I'm so passionate about real estate, is because it can change your life. It can change your family's life. But then on top of that, you can help so many other people. I know that you invest in so many nonprofits and stuff like that. Like, it's so amazing what real estate can do for you.
I agree.
So I couldn't be more passionate about it. Get started because you can become rich from it.
And then you can do things with, like Luke's and I think in the future we're going to open up like a non-kill animal shelter that we're going to support, where you can do a lot of things if you make money for yourself and other people, and the best way to make money is through real estate.
And it feels so weird saying that, because I know that like people are like, you're a douchebag.
They know we're not douchebags.
But you can do
here.
so much good in this world with money.
Yes.
And so go buy a house.
Money's not going to change you. It just amplifies who you are. So if you're a good person, more money, you'll be a good person. If you're a crappy person, because we can't cuss too much here on YouTube.
So don't be a crappy person, but take that money, buy a house. What do you think about this?
Have you bought any properties that so what do you think about buying property that already has a tenant in it?
Yes, I just bought a 7-pack of properties. No, it was a 6-pack. I bought a 6-pack of properties with tenants already there. But I looked through all of the ledgers. I looked through all of the rent history. None of them were behind on their payments. I looked through their credit scores. I looked through their income. And so I vetted them really well before I bought that package, but it's only been great for me. They pay every month on the first of the month. We have a check going into Buildium every single month.
You use Buildium?
We use Buildium.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys use Propertyware?
We use Buildium for the longest time. Propertyware, we're struggling, but we use Buildium for the longest time. I love Buildium.
So, I make sure that you vet it really well, but it's been great for us. That 6-pack is, it's cash flowing great, and it was amazing.
I bought 27 at one time.
See, that's what happens when you get cocky.
But I was just going to say what Cam said is the exact same thing. So I don't need to add anything to that. You answered that question well. But I do like to poke at I should have known you were going to be wearing like a
sheet vest.
I would have worn like, you know what I would have done? I would have worn like a wolf outfit.
Taking it off.
All right. Do we have to pay? Do we have to?
Destroy you.
Cam, I'm just a little boy. Do we have to pay down payments for hard money loans, including the points and interest? I'm seeing a lot of videos that say we live in an expensive place. So most hard money lenders do not require down payment. Things have changed a little bit because of COVID. Most of them require you to have access to some money in case it's needed. Some may require down payment, but most do not. Most just require you to have access to funds, and they'll loan you a certain percentage of the after repair value of the property. I guess just kind of depends on your market, but most don't require money down. But you do have to pay every single month.
What does Faster Funds do? They're every single month. You pay interest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interest only though. Look at that guy.
Dusty, one of my favorite guys in the world.
Corey, what's up, Corey? It's good to see you today. Cam, I will call you mañana. Good.
Dude, call me, Jeff. Call me. I cannot speak more highly of the Rental Academy.
All right. So could you share about joint venture deals with other investors? So we haven't done. So I bought a couple of multifamily deals, actually 3, I guess. And we use a private lender, just one private lender to fund the down payment. And then we basically did a long-term bird deal. If you know what the bird deal is, if you don't, check out our YouTube. There's a ton on there. If you're watching this on Facebook, make sure you subscribe to YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you're subscribing. If you're watching this on TikTok, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube. So we use a private lender for the down payment and then refinance after 2 years and paid them off. But I haven't done like a bunch of joint venture syndication deals. If that's kind of what you're getting at. So we're caught up. All right. So also possible to have multiple bird deals going on at one time with hard money. Yes.
I've got 5 going on right now
with separate sources, private and hard money. But yes.
Yeah. So as many as you want, as long as the deal works. We have 5 going on right now.
Do you do deals all over the country? No, we only do deals in the St. Louis market. I know a ton of people that do virtually, so that is definitely not out of the question to do. But you can. We just like to do. We're in our market. I just feel like our faces a little bit. We probably should have had that a little farther away. I'm late to the game, but my money's on Cam in the fight. J-Dom.
Hey, there we go.
All right, so Jennifer.
You were right.
Jennifer's in our mastermind. So I think you have our one-on-one coaching session November 6th. So that's going to be canceled.
Hey, you know what though? You're right. And hey,
Jennifer Donnelly's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Tomorrow.
She's not the sharpest tool in the shed, so that's fine. I have an amazing deal here in Cali. I think deal, so credit. Yeah, Joseph, that's awesome. If you got a great deal, run it by people that know the market and people that you trust and have done deals out in that area. After you guys find a house as a wholesale potential, what do you do after that? Also, can you talk about your other
ways to get wholesale deals? So with a wholesale deal, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but whenever we find a deal off market, we have 4 different options. One of it is to take it into our rental portfolio. The other way is we flip it and make money that way. The third way is that we wholesale it to another investor for just a little bit of money. And the fourth way is that we clean and list it. So whenever I buy a house, I want to make sure that it has all 4 extra strategies. We can wholesale it, we can flip it. Somebody in our company would want it, or we can flip it, or we can clean and list it. All of them are going to make money. So I would suggest that to you. Just make sure that there's multiple exit strategies. If you don't want it for a rental, you can wholesale to somebody. If nobody wants it as a wholesale, you can clean it and list it and sell it, or flip it and sell it for money. But make sure there's exit strategies on that.
Awesome. Make sure to keep the questions coming. So Joseph, just a little bit you talked about earlier, never feel bad for being successful, especially when we're using our limited success to help other people.
Yeah.
So anyways, he just is telling you to not worry about it.
Joseph, thank you.
Would you recommend building a rep before pursuing an LLC? As the LLC, you're stepping into a realm of business, not personal. I don't know, rep. What do you think means with rep there? But I would suggest
Like
always
reputation.
starting an LLC. Just because I feel like it's a mindset thing. If you have an LLC, you own a business, and you're going to take yourself more seriously.
Yeah. So for that, my wife and I, it's kind of dumb, but we did it. We opened up an LLC. We got like banners made. We got sweatshirts made. We got hats made.
Thanks for giving me a hat.
Yeah, I don't like you. But before we even had a property, and I can't tell you, it's this weird like subconscious mindset that it did for us of like, hey, we're legitimate. Well, we have a company now, and so I would always suggest for anybody, open up the LLC, start your company name. Ours is Revel City Properties. And that just did, we
Go to this website. You got a website.
I got a website, revelcityproperties.com. Go check it out. Send me a house if you have a house for sale. But it's an amazing, like, it did something for us just subconsciously where we were like, we're legitimate now. We're really doing this.
Legit AF.
And so then we bought 17 houses.
Keep the questions coming, by the way. We're kind of getting caught up now. So if you have
questions,
questions, answer them.
Hey, Rod, get your rods.
He said with your hair. He's not complimenting you physically. He's just saying you hung with your hair is all he's saying.
It's a good hair, man.
Your weird flow.
Good hair. I'm still pretty young, so I have.
This is kind of fall. You're not that young. You're like 29.
29, but I'm a good-looking 29-year-old.
All right. So what do you say carries more leverage, rep and history, or the deal itself? Probably a good combination. If I had to put numbers to it, I would probably say 40% rep and 60% deal. What do you think?
I mean, for me, I don't have a ton of rep. We just started
done several deals recently.
Now I do. Now that we're building, we have a lot of rep. I can call my bank and get things done pretty quickly. But before that, I had zero rep. I mean, I started literally 9-10 months ago. And it was all about the deals. It was all about bringing deals to the table, saying, hey, here's what the house is worth. Here's what we're buying it for. Here's what the rehab is. Coming up with we would come up with an investor package for every deal at first and present it. And so at first, I mean, not at first, still that's what we do. And so it's the deal. If you have a deal that's going to make money, everybody's going to invest in it.
Makes sense. So Shazad, there is the right answer to this question. I think we're 3-3. We've been people voting. Who would win in a fight, Sam or
Shazad? He is.
So he knows the answer.
Shazad's going for it. Shazad has 4 or 5
rentals. Shazad's doing
and then
well.
he just bought one the other day. So
Shazad, what's the answer?
Shazad, you're going to be driving around in a freaking Lambo in a couple of years.
So clean a list, yeah. Basically, clean a list means we don't touch it. My guess would be you spend under $2,000, maybe like tearing out carpet and putting new carpet and painting, or not even that really. Actually, I would say
clean and list is just literally cleaning it and listing it, just doing a deep clean of the property and listing it. We have one right now that we're
glad Shazad's probably got off, which is a good thing because you don't want to hear his answer. Who went in physical education?
Who knows? But it's literally cleaning it. And honestly, the property that you sent me, I think it's a great candidate for cleaning the list. Just FYI.
Where is it? Answer that question.
Being very, I hate you. Credit history on aspects related to financial background or personal risk is defined by I'm sorry, I don't completely understand. Or personal risk is defined by traditional bringing. I'm sorry, I don't completely understand that. So for my wife and I, we both have good credit history. I think we're both 750 plus. I think my wife's in the 800s. I'm not. I hate you so much, Sam. But I don't have like great reputation. It's not like I have a ton of money or anything like that. But when you bring a good deal to anybody, and you present the numbers and present in an intellectual way, saying like, hey, here's exactly what it's worth. Here's the rehab. They're going to lend on it. They're going to refinance on it. They're going to be happy to back you on that as long as it's a good deal. Do you guys bore foreclosure auction properties? We do buy.
Sorry, I'm so broad. Do you guys buy foreclosure auction properties? So yes, we. Oh. Boom. You're moving it up. You're like doing this to make it pop.
Watch it pop.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you buy foreclosure? We do not do a ton. We used to buy like 20 houses a year at the steps at the auctions, but they're a little bit competitive right now. And Cam would not be our buyer. He gets. It's okay. You get a little emotional. You would not be a good.
So here's the thing about wholesaling.
You would not be. No, you would not be a good auction buyer.
No, I do. I get them.
That's okay.
I get attached. I want to give people, and so anybody that's watching this that wants to get into wholesaling on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and I do think that it pays itself back. But I don't ever want to rip anybody off. I went to a house the other day and they said I'm asking 75 for the property, and I was like, I don't feel, I couldn't sleep tonight knowing that I give you $75,000. I want to give you $90,000 for this
Cameron,
property.
don't tell me that.
And his money's involved in that. My money's involved in that.
That's fine.
Wait till you lose on that. I will lose on deals coming up, but I want to be able to sleep at night. And so my biggest thing for that is, which is completely not the question.
Not at all.
Anybody that's a wholesaler that's watching this is be a good person. Like, don't try and take advantage of people. Don't try and beat people down. Don't try and put a property under contract and in the day of closing go back to them and say, well, I need 20 grand off on that. Be a good person. I promise you that you'll be rewarded for that. I don't know how, but you will.
For sure. That didn't answer the question, but that was a good answer. Just find you on TikTok, soaking up the knowledge. Awesome. Thank you. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. So whatever you're watching, if you're on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, not on Instagram right now, make sure to follow our stuff.
Hey, Charles, got this to say to you. When you say thinking about starting, just start, bet on yourself, do it, take action. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago.
What's the second best
time? The second best time is right freaking now. So get out there, do a deal.
How do you keep track of so much money in houses? So we have a controller, an accountant, a CPA, and a bookkeeper keeping track of our stuff. Cam, how about you?
So for us, great question, because we're trying to figure that out. We're multiple millions of dollars in debt. I mean, we do have equity on that debt, and we have $500,000 or $600,000 out to hard money lenders, and we're figuring out as we go. But we do keep spreadsheets. We keep Excel spreadsheets of everything that we have going on, and so it just takes a lot of work and a lot of communication. And a lot of staying up late at night and putting numbers. So that's just one of the parts. You're not going to make it in this business if you're not willing to put in the hours.
Agreed. So you own 7 rentals. That's awesome, Amy. Joseph, the mastermind, it's a master coaching / mastermind. Go to FasterFreedom.com to find out more information about that. Thank you for finding us and about our live rental academy. Make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube. We will see you next Wednesday at 8:30. Ken, give them a peace out.
Peace out.
Thanks for watching,
it's been real, guys. Thank you so much for watching.